Preferences. When you open up your program the first time, this form preferences will pop up. This is a real nice form to make use of in order to customize your program for sales relevant data, for purchase relevant data. I'm moving this over a little bit to the side. When you do your inventory search and research, I can move this down a little bit, you see more fields. Scheduler, and for reports. There are separate tutorials which will illustrate what you can do, but I'm going to give you a little spiel on what's possible here. If you have to invoice your customer, then you may not want to call it bill, you may want to call it an invoice. And if you want to set him a quotation, you may want to call it just quote. So you can overwrite these things. Instead of credit info, you may want to call it credit memo. Change the company name, which may be different on sales forms than on purchasing forms. Respectively, you can change on purchase information how it appears there. Instead of purchase order, you may want to call it requisitions, and change the company name over here a little bit. So here's where you can customize this. Very nice. You can also further down here in this document put in your personalized disclaimer, which appears on sales forms. You have two options, and this actually goes on your sales forms, this goes on your items forms. You can put your standard terms and conditions in here, your payment terms, or a slogan. Same here on your purchasing. When you do some requisitioning of goods, you can customize these disclaimers as well. Let's move over here. This is for our inventory search. You can do also make the changes here as you need to, and change over the fields, what you want to have appearing in these fields as a pre-filter. These are all filters. You can also change the labels, how they appear. Now, to fully understand this, you may want to look at the program a little bit and study how the program has been set up, where these forms are, and then see how the effect takes place when changing the data. But you can change the labels. This is something like this would be a label, this would be a field. This would be a label, this would be a field. So you can change the labels, how instead of subcategory 1, you may want to call it main group, and instead of subcategory 2, you may want to call it whatever important thing, I cannot think of it, maybe subgroup. So you can change the label how it appears. Char, this is relevant to data which we use in the text industry for width. I would put in width, but in your case, you may, for you, the char is an abbreviation for character. You may be using, if you're in the car industry, you may be using horsepower, and you will be able to relate to it when you have studied the program a little bit better. Scheduler, the same thing. You can change pre-filters in the scheduler. And then here is for your reports. Now on the reports, and I will show this also in another tutorial, when you send, for example, your inventory listing to somebody, the program allows you to put in a URL address. The URL address is basically an internet address where you may have stored some information they can download by clicking on it. When you export in a PDF file, people receive the PDF file, then you can hover with your mouse on the URL address, click on it, and download something. If you have uploaded information on the internet, downloadable files are, for example, zip files, and I believe PDF files are also by nature downloadable. So you should put in here the path you are using for uploading your attachments. So let's say here would be your company name, not good at writing today, .com. Then you do /, here it is. I would do pictures, / and that is all what you need. Don't forget that / now. And the rest will be done by the computer. The computer will use the reference number and then the extension .zip, and with that it will create the entire URL, and what will be appearing on your PDF is www. and so on and so forth, and then / the reference number .zip, and that's what I can click on and download. Now your system may work slightly different. You may have to do, instead of www, you may have to do something else. You have to play around with it a little bit, but once you know it, once you got it, once you tested it, then you know what to put in there, and then that's what it is for. Look especially in the inventory search tutorial. That's where we're gonna hit this subject. And then you can change also the name of the header. You can call it item listing, or you can call it service items, and then you will be able to see that in the PDF file, and it will be popping up.